you're on your... Okay, it's Monday, April 13th. The bunny is done. For those of you who don't know, we went around our neighborhoods yesterday by request, and we did a pop-up bunny. We went to Gulf Beach, we went to a bunch of neighborhoods. As we went, people were calling, for us to come down the street. It took a little longer than we wanted it to, so if you were waiting on us and we were late, very sorry, but the bunny was in high demand. It was extremely fun. It was such a great way to give back to our community. And it really didn't cost us anything. And to the person who gave me the gas money, I didn't do that for the money, but thank God you gave it to me because I didn't realize how much gas that was going to take waiting for the bunny to do his thing all day. We visited some great people, including a couple kids whose dad's working at Yale. Lots of hours at Yale, so they were pretty excited to see the bunny. Little kids just don't understand why they can't go out. All the little girls had their dresses on, all the little boys had their Easter suits. It was really, really sweet to see, and I hope that we brighten your day. I know from some of the comments that we got that we really did make some people's days. So that's a great thing to find some way to serve your community that it didn't cost us very much at all. So that being said, for today, rainy, horrible Monday. But we're just going to deal with it. We're going to find the silver lining. My silver lining today is that our social distancing is working and everybody that I know in my family is healthy and well, and I hope the rest of you can say that at least. Just before we came on, the sirens were going off for the high tide flood alert down at the beach, so if you were in one of those areas prone to flooding and you haven't moved your car, go do that and then come back. Today I'm going to show you how to make the granola bars. I didn't have enough oats to do it twice, so I'm going to just demonstrate it, and then if you go back to our meatballs and meatloaf recipe, you could get a picture of it, but I'll also go ahead and put one up when this gets done tomorrow. So what I've done so far is I've mixed oats and some sunflower seeds in this bowl, and I'm going to put in some almonds that I have. This is just the end of a bag of almonds, and I'm just going to use this rolling pin to crunch them up a little bit. And this is going to be like the granola bars, the Nature Valley granola bars, but with probably some better ingredients. But I actually looked at the ingredients on here, and the only thing that really concerned me was the brown sugar syrup, which is a fancy way of saying corn syrup. So we're not going to use that. We're going to use honey from our hive. So go ahead and grind these guys up. I'm going to dump them in here. I think I'm going to dump them in here. I'm also going to add chia seeds, hemp protein, flax seeds, and I had these sunflower kernels in there. All right, so I'm not really measuring this, so just have the spoon, some chia seeds. This is the hemp protein. This is the flax seeds. Okay, and then I'm going to add about this ½ cup of coconut oil to moisten this all up and stir it around. A good healthy dash of ground cinnamon and some vanilla. And then on the stove, I have back here honey and brown sugar. And that's our honey in there with brown sugar. Oh, that's going to have you go over the... Okay. So we're just going to show you a quick picture of that. And then I don't know if you want to catch in the front there. I also have these not your grandmother's oats, these blueberry oat muffins that I made this morning. They're not really muffins, they're just like cooked oatmeal. I'm going to give you that recipe for that one there with blueberries and banana. It's a quick energy bite in the morning that's full of good fiber that'll get you going in the morning and get you through to later in the afternoon. And then also here John has a sample of honey from various countries that we've been to or people have been to. We have Iceland, South Africa, Colombia, most recently Indonesia. There's black honey that's there. Of course, our honey. Anytime we go traveling, Nova Scotia, that one's empty. We finished that one. Anytime we go traveling, which we used to do a lot more of, we would stop wherever we saw honey. All right, so here's this honey and brown sugar mixture. I'm pouring it over the oats. Nothing really to see there. And mixing it up. Make sure that everything gets covered. Okay. Mix it in, mix. You want to get nice even distribution. You want to make sure that all the oats get covered in that honey mixture. All right, the next thing that you're going to do is go to, I have this pan that I sprayed earlier and I put a piece of parchment paper inside of it. That's just going to keep it from sticking to it. And then this mixture goes in here. Make sure you get everything. Make sure you get all the honey and brown sugar mix. Mine just stuck there a little bit. And then flatten it out. Now I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven for 10 minutes to start with. And I don't know if we'll be able to go back to it, but in the 10 minutes time, I'm going to go in and I'm going to stir the corners a little bit to just toast this. Another way to do this is to toast it all in a sheet pan prior to putting the butter, prior to putting the brown sugar and honey mixture on it. But I didn't want to make another pan dirty. So I'm going to do this. And then after 10 minutes, I'm going to lower it to 350 and I'm going to cook it for about 25 minutes. And I'm going to push it down like this. And then when it comes out of the oven, after about 20 minutes, I think it is, I'll do the times exactly in the recipe over on our YouTube channel, John & Heather Perfetto YouTube channel. You'll get the recipe and you'll see the finished product. When it comes out of the oven, it's going to take like 7 minutes to start to cool. And then I'm going to take a knife and score it so that I'll have my bars. But I'm going to try and see if we can get back to this before we finish this whole thing up. So I'm going to go in here for 10 minutes and then let's see if we could circle back to this. The third thing I'm going to do for you today is this pull-apart bread. This is Jaden's favorite bread. I'm saving that to last because that needs just a little bit more proofing. So I'm going to go over here instead and make this real quick recipe. I made up the pasta dough the other day that had the lemon peel and the black peppercorn and the pasta, and I went ahead today and took that dough out and put it through my KitchenAid dough maker and made these noodles that the guys are going to have this tonight. We're going to make Cajun steak bites, and they're going to have it over this. So this is going to kind of be like a different play on a classic dish of lemon caper sauce. But I'm going to add this bacon just to enhance it a little bit more. So I chopped up the bacon into these bite-sized pieces, and I'm just going to render it in here. I have a little bit of olive oil, but I'm going to put this in here. So this is going to be my rip-off version of piccata. Piccata is lemon caper butter sauce. I had capers in the refrigerator, so I just thought I'd do this to make it the lemon play off the lemon peppercorn in that sauce. So the next thing that's going to go into that and cook alongside that bacon is a very finely diced onion. Shallots would be great for this, but as you know, we're cooking with what we have here in the kitchen. So I'm going to slice this up really, really fine and tiny so it disappears in there. And someone in the house who doesn't like onions won't know what's in there. Did my mother make it on? No. My mother's having a little technology issue. We're trying to help her through, but you know what? I got to give her credit. She's really trying to come along in this day and age, because I guess she figured she's never going to see me again, so she better figure out how to log on to Facebook Live. All right, so the next thing is going to be about 3 cloves of garlic that I chopped. And put that into the pan. Mix that up. You can also do this with ham, if you have any ham left over from yesterday. If anybody was lucky enough to have Easter ham, you could probably substitute the bacon for little cubes of ham and see what that's like. I'm going to go a little bit lighter on the salt because bacon is a little bit salty, and I'm definitely going to add pepper to play off that black peppercorn pasta that we made the other day. The next thing that I have are these capers that I just had in a jar. I think that's from Christmas time. We have this big ass jar of capers, which is a pickled flower bud of a plant. That's also going to give it some saltiness. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, if I don't have basil, I'm going to get a little bit of my pesto in there. Some of my fresh basil. I eat this right now by the spoonful. It smells so good. The next thing is going to be, this is the lemon that I took the peel off to make the zest for my peppercorn pasta, so I didn't throw that out. Now I'm going to use my lemon juice here in this sauce, and that's going to bring brightness. The citrus flavor is going to really bring up the acid, and that is going to play off the bacon fat and the pasta. It's going to be beautiful, bright sauce. Oops, I thought I took the seeds out ahead of time, but I see one in there. Got it. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to put in is white wine. Those of you who know me, you know I'm not putting this in there, so I'm using stock because there's no way I'm putting my precious bottle of wine in there. All right, so this is going to reduce down a little bit, and then I have this white sauce from when we made macaroni and cheese the other day, and I froze it, and I just have a little bit of that. That's going to kind of thicken my sauce somewhat. Now you can keep that in, you can take that out, it's all up to you. The other thing that finishes pasta sauce or sauce really bright is cold pieces of butter to go in there. That's called monte au beurre for French chefs out there, and that just really makes it like glistening and velvety and kind of pulls the whole thing together. So that's going to cook down a little bit more, but I'm just going to jump ahead because I'm going to be reheating this tonight anyway. So then you're going to go ahead and put your pasta right in there. Mixed up. This could be any kind of pasta. If you didn't make the pasta we made, you didn't follow along with us, that's fine. We'll just, actually now that bacon's acting like prosciutto, so prosciutto, if you got prosciutto instead of ham, you can put that in there. As always, it has to be tasted. You have to taste. This is where we find out. It's pretty good. Crushed black hot pepper flakes would be really good on this, but you can put your own on there too. So now here's my little trick for, because I want to bring this up a little bit more. Not everybody in the house, oh I forgot Parmesan cheese. Oops, Parmesan cheese goes in there too. Okay, not everybody in our house likes my next step, so here's my trick for if you're trying to serve everybody and you have some picky eaters. Take out half of it, and I want to put the spinach in here just so that it's really bright and colorful. You see the difference in those two pastas. So you take it to whatever level you want to take it to. I know there's a couple of us that are going to eat that, and there's a couple of us that are going to eat that. So whatever, you know, it is. And you could, I mean, I did this now so that you would have a guide for what to make later. You can make all of this just before sitting down to eat. You could make this ahead of time like I just did and reheat it back in this pan, or you could, if you want, you could microwave it. I don't think pasta is very good in the microwave. That's kind of like a late night last ditch effort to reheat something to get a quick snack, but you could just throw this back in a saute pan to heat it up later on today. All right, so there's pasta 2 ways or 3 ways or 4 ways, depending upon what you want to add or don't want to add. And then I'm just going to go quick in here and show the technique of how I want to mix those oats. The paper's still on the bottom, but I just want to make sure they get a little toasty before they go to the baking portion. Okay, and now I'm going to tamp it down so that it's going to bake. Okay, so it's 15 to 20 minutes. Keep your eye on it. But I am, like I said, going to lower the oven now to 350 and go and give it. I'll start with 15 and then I'll take a look at it. But I don't think we're going to get to see this by the time we finish this video. Okay, so the next thing that I want to make is Jaden's favorite bread, which is pull-apart bread. And I did make this with some of the starter instead of just yeast. This is a sweet dough, so you can see it's sticky and spongy, not like the dry bread doughs that we have, but it is a yeasted dough, so it will rise. Okay, so this requires a funny little technique. I'm going to just do half of it for here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to roll out a long strip of this dough. Pretty thin. It's very elastic. It's got great texture to it. This should make 2 loaves, this recipe. All right. The next step to this is fun. You brush this with butter. Okay, and then this cinnamon sugar goes on it. Now you can see why Jade loves this. Butter and cinnamon sugar. What's not to love about butter and cinnamon sugar? So you put this on and you fold it, roll it back out. I'm trying to get this shape for a reason, which you're gonna see in a minute. Now this is a bread loaf pan that I've sprayed, and I'm going to cut pieces of this dough. And then I'm going to gather them up like this. I'll have to cut it again. Figure it out. And I'm going to put it into this loaf pan. So now there's all these layers of butter and sugar and cinnamon and this sweet dough in this loaf pan. You can see the layers in that one in the middle there. Now this is going to, I'm going to brush it with a little bit of butter and some more of the cinnamon sugar, and I'm going to put a towel over it, the towel that I had, and now I'm going to put it on this warm oven that I have back here, and this is going to double in size, and then I'm going to bake it, and it's going to be this amazing like monkey bread pull apart cinnamon loaf. All right, so that's a technique that we haven't had thus far. I don't think we're going to get to finish that. So today I'm just going to talk about Monday motivators. Who is your motivator? Who was your motivator before this pandemic happened, and who's going to be your motivator now? So if your motivator was your personal trainer, if it was a teacher, if it was your principal, if it was your boss, a coworker, your spouse, and you're not connected to that person right now, well, guess what? You're going to have to be your Monday motivator. So you need to find something that is going to get you out of bed and positive to get through that day of Monday, especially if it's a rainy day like today. I just quickly looked out my window to see the weather, and I noticed my neighbor's tree across the street is absolutely beautiful. So that could be something that can motivate you for a few minutes. It could be a podcast of true crime. That's my favorite. It could be the novel that you're reading, a book that's going to take you away from this. Because if you're reading about somewhere that this isn't happening, then that's an hour, 2 hours, however, of freedom. It could be some art that you love doing, the project that you haven't had time to work on. It's time to go back to those projects and stretch out your day. It could be a great cup of tea in the afternoon. That's kind of been one of our routines, has been to make up some tea and just hang out and talk for a couple hours in the afternoon to just get away from the news and unwind a little bit before dinner time. So, John, who do you have today?
All right, today we went with a new restaurant just opened up in January, the Bee's Knees. I haven't been there. I know Heather and Tanya went there. Desserts and sandwiches?
Toast, like avocado toast, sandwiches, wraps. Tanya had a chicken pot pie. I had a toast, balsamic fig toast. They have scones, they have breads, they have soups. It's a little tiny cafe.
In Walnut Beach.
Yeah,
right?
in the Walnut Beach area. Yep.
Yeah, so it's really tough opening in January. You're just starting to get your footing, and now you get closed down. So, but I know they are doing.
I saw people supporting yesterday. They
doing curbside.
Yep.
So check them out. Check out their Facebook page and go from there. And one other thing I wanted to mention. This is not open. I'm trying to support open businesses, but these guys are great. The Corner Brunch. They opened up this Saturday. Had a bunch of volunteers come in. They made several hundred individual meals for first responders, the heroes. They said grocery store workers, post office workers. And they. I mean, you don't get a better breakfast anywhere in Milford than the Corner Brunch. So hopefully they'll be back up and going. But I just wanted to mention them, because I think it's great sense of community what they're doing, and we salute them. So go back to Heather.
Okay, some highlights this week are going to be stir fry. We were very famous for our stir fry, so I'm going to give you the recipe to our stir fry sauce. It's got a few ingredients in it, but I got to go out and get those tomorrow. Somebody asked for chicken nuggets for the kids. I'm going to show you a way to make chicken nuggets that even the adults are going to love. Those are just two of the highlights, and I'm going to get back in my cookbooks and recipes and try and find something else that I can bring to you here from my home kitchen. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.